Gurvz Singh Dyal, Mr Gurvz, GS3 Trades, all these names that he goes by. What is his story and what is the truth behind his online presence? So this guy, Mr Gurvz, let's just go with Mr Gurvz for now because I think that's what he goes with right now. If you don't know who he is like famous on Instagram to some extent. Part of what he does is like flex his designer clothes, holidays, cars, things like that. And you guessed it, sells courses. So I actually knew about this guy like many years ago, like maybe 2018, which actually doesn't feel like such a long time ago, but he was not as big as he is now. And how I found out about him was because he actually followed me on my Instagram car page. And back in the day, I only had like 1,000 or 2,000 followers on there. So I would see like whoever follows me and I'd like look at their account and everything. And I saw this guy and I saw that one of my friends in uni was also following him. And that particular friend was getting into like Forex trading and things like that. So I thought, oh, you know, he probably knows this guy or something like that. And at that time, Mr. Gurvz's account was called Gurvz Singh, and he only had like 17,000 followers, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. Now he has like, I think like around 1 million, but we'll get into that as well. So he followed me, I followed him back. I started like, and at this time, I feel like the online trader flexing scammer thingy was relatively new. It wasn't like as widespread as it is now. So I saw this guy like showing off his stuff, and I'm a student at the time, and I'm like feeling more wowed by this than like any regular like adult would probably. His story or whatever was, you know, that I'm just a medicine student and I made it out, like I made millions at the age of 21 and things like that. And you know, as a teenager in university, these things might go through your head like, oh, if only I could impress my parents and show them like something cool that I could do or something like that. And he would share all these articles by like the Daily Mirror or whatever that newspaper's called, saying like 21-year-old medicine student makes millions trading Forex or something like that. And at that time he was running this thing where you would WhatsApp him and so I did that. He would say like, WhatsApp me to start or whatever. So I WhatsApped him and I said, okay, how can I he would basically like take your money and trade Forex with it and then apparently give you back like a big profit or something like that, to hopefully live a similar lifestyle to him. So I basically WhatsApped him and I was like, hey, you know, how can I like get started? And he like responded immediately like, yeah, you just have to like send me £500. I mean, I still have the messages, I could check them, I think. But he was like, yeah, sure, you just have to sign up, whatever. I was like, how much do you need? He's like, £500. And at that time, I don't think I even had £500. Like, I was just a student. Like, I had no income, like, apart from just money to, like, live and eat and stuff like that. But, like, you have to understand, I was pretty convinced by this guy. So, because I was kind of dumb. Like, I didn't know much about this. So I was, like, thinking, what if I, like, ask my dad to lend me £500 and then I'll give it to this guy and then I'll give my dad, like, part of the profit, or I'll give him back the money and I'll keep the profit and something like that. I mean, my dad is very careful and things like this, so he would have definitely not agreed to that, but I didn't ask him anyway, thankfully. So I just thought, okay, whatever, I guess I'll sit this one out. And then I started looking him up online. I thought, let me just find like these articles and stuff like that he's sharing screenshots of these newspapers saying that this guy has made so much money and blah blah. So when I search him up, all I get is people have lost millions to this guy, and he's saying the money is in some account in the Canary Islands, and I was like, oh, reality started to kick in a little bit. And apart from that, I also noticed that, like, for example, he's flexing a Maserati Ghibli, like, standard option, and he's showing off, like, clothes that are, like, much, I think, more expensive than that car, because that's not, like, a very expensive Maserati. It's, like, the entry-level one. But, I mean, with the UK, it's understandable, because at a young age, insurance is, like, more expensive than the car, so, like, whatever. So that's why I didn't think much of it, but I started thinking about it once I started realizing that there's something going on. And of course, he would keep coming up with these new, like, offers, like, oh, this is free for, like, this week, and limited number of students, and posting a picture of this guy. Look at him, he bought his first Maserati after, like, learning from me. Just before I continue, I just want to say that I'm not defaming the guy, I'm not making anything up, I'm just talking about what I, like, saw and my opinion on it, and you can take it or leave it. I have nothing personal against him or in favor of him. I don't know him personally or anything like that, but I feel like a lot of people don't really know much about him, and he's becoming more famous now, and they don't know, like, his past or anything like that. So I thought, let me just make a video about it, because I haven't found many videos about him as well. There was this one video by CEO Cast, which, by the way, love that guy's channel, where he interviews him and the guy he's with, who are both, it was actually another guy's channel, and he had CEO Cast as, like, a guest host, I think. And they're both interviewing Gurvz Singh, and they both looked fairly skeptical of him, because they're like, okay, so how much are you making? And he'd be like, oh, I'm making, like, millions a month. And
you can't Photoshop going on the app and refreshing it, bro. Come on.
But that says 000.
I don't know, he was saying, like, things that weren't really, like, adding up and stuff like that. And I mean, his face wasn't very convincing either. I guess they're not gonna, like, straight up tell him, like, oh, we think you're a scammer and stuff like that. But they dealt with it quite in a very civil manner, and I guess pretty fairly. And I guess they don't have any, like, solid evidence against him, and he was just saying that the company, like, screwed him over by keeping the money, and then he turns out to look like the scammer or something like that. But I mean, my personal opinion is I'm pretty sure he knew what he's doing. I mean, everything about it just screams like scam or something like that. I'm not calling him a scammer, but I'm just saying that everything does seem quite, like, shady. Fast forward to now, he almost has 1 million followers on Instagram, which I'm a bit skeptical about how real they are, because I actually saw his follower count grow, like, really quickly, without really, like, anything to, like, substantiate such growth. Like, I also run an Instagram account, and I know how easy or difficult it can be to, like, gain followers, and the kind of time frames you'd be looking at, and also the kind of views and likes and comments and things like that you would get depending on the number of followers you have. And you can even see that by gauging, like, other celebrities and stuff like that. And, like, when he does a live stream, there's, like, 40 people or something, or I mean, sometimes it can be more, it could be like 50, 60, 70, but I mean, for 1 million followers, I feel like you should be getting quite a bit more. The guy is known, like, he is famous pretty much, like, to an extent, but I don't know about having 1 million followers famous. I'm sure, like, some of the stunts he's done might have helped him gain followers, but I also saw them go up, like, really quickly. Like, one week he has 200k, the next week 800k, the next week 1 million. Like, it'd be, like, really fast, like, you know, out of nowhere. And then the other thing is that he just seems to switch his entire business model, like so much. Like, one day he's doing Forex courses. The next thing he's doing some crypto coin, which I'm not sure if he actually did a crypto coin, but just as an example. The next thing he's selling, like, doing, like, drop shipping courses. Now he's doing, like, some car rental company or something like that. And then there was even, like, some Shopify course. Like, I don't know, there's, like, a new thing, like, every couple of months he'll like change his link in bio, change his whole like account to like fit this new like persona of like a new thing he's trying to sell or whatever. And the other thing I've noticed, because I know that a lot of people do know some of the reality, so what I've noticed is that when you see one of his Instagram posts and it's like fresh, you'll see negative comments. But anything that's like a few hours old or a few days old or something like that, everything seems to like get deleted. So this video is for those people who were maybe in my position, you know, like the university student, or maybe someone who's struggling financially or something and is looking for like some easy way out or something, and you might see some of these kind of people. Just do your research before you do anything with them. Like, I'm not telling you don't or do or anything, it's not my business, but just do your research. And a lot of the times you'll find that the reality is not as great as it may seem. That's all for this video. If there's anything more you wanted to know or ask, feel free to do so in the comments. Below this video is a link that has my social media links. It has my Instagram car page if you want to check that out. It has links for investing platforms. It's just basically a referral link, so if you use my code you'll get like some free shares or something like that. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next week.